start this video. First world problems are a bitch. But what is up, people? Walking Dead. You know, it's interesting. I thought I was subscribed to Walking Dead, but I wasn't. So I was kind of like, okay. But anyway, Walking Dead tagged me. The anime villain tag. 7 questions. First, the questions are: who do you believe is the greatest anime villain of all time? Second is personal favorite. Third, least favorite. Fourth, your favorite group. Fifth, favorite female anime villain. That's a tough one, actually. And who's your favorite anime henchman? And the last one is an optional question. So just jump right in. My first one: who do you believe is the greatest villain of all time? Now, like, questions 1 and 2 are slightly different. I assume question 1 means, you know, like, overall, and or like who can you think you could relate to more. So I had 2 or 3 contenders for this question, and I was just thinking, and so my first choice for this question was going to be Kumagawa from Medaka Box. Why Kumagawa? I like his how to put this. I like his transition from someone who's human but not so human and wants to make everyone to someone who's actually I don't know how to explain it. It's hard because, like, he goes from, like, evil Satan spawn to human. But after thinking, and he wasn't he was the only choice. I was also gonna pick Makishima from Psycho-Pass, but I don't want to pick him because Psycho-Pass isn't done yet. There's still one more episode, and so who I did pick, for roughly the same reasons as Kumagawa due to his transformation, is Mirim for Hunter x Hunter. And I picked Mirim for for his whole transformation, much like Kumagawa's transformation from evil Satan bastard hellspawn to respectable human, even though he's not quite human. And, like, when Mirim first came up, because, you know, he kind of looks like Cell, and that's kind of like the thing with this. When Mirim first showed up, he really was that generic anti-villain, just like, I don't understand humans, therefore I'm going to rule you, and blah blah blah, and eat all you people, and oh my god, it's fucking delicious. And his transformation from that evil generic character all the way to his final transformation death sequence was just amazing. Just amazing. That's the kind of thing with it. I slightly prefer that over the other type of villain transformation that usually goes on, which I'll get into in the 7th question, actually. But now, moving on to question 2, which is my favorite, Kumagawa. Kumagawa is just my favorite villain. He's overpowered. He has bought easily the best entire characterization in the entire Medaka box. And I don't know, he's just like the complete package. He's funny, he's crazy, and like he shows you the real crazy. Not like Joker level crazy. And it's like, I could either, you know, kill you right now, or just do whatever. I mean, the way he goes about things is like, you cannot feel for the character. The way he goes about things is just his own unique way, and that's the thing I like about Medaka Box. They have their own unique ways of doing things for every single character. So, moving on to question 3, who's your least favorite, or the most overrated? And when Walking Dead said this in the video, I could have easily taken a bite out of Light Yagami, and I could have easily taken out, you know, a bite out of a character like Cell, because, you know, just out of sheer popularity out of those two. But I decided to go with Butterfliesen. Yeah, Eisen. Why? Like, is he a good, like, he's an okay villain. I mean, but the main reason is, like, he's just the biggest villain Sue I have ever seen. I mean, it's like, you know, like, I plotted out your whole life from birth. I mean, and if you don't know what a villain Sue is, it's essentially the same thing as a Mary Sue, where they can do infinite, they can do anything perfectly. Like, think Madoka from Madoka Box. She's a Mary Sue, although she's the deconstruction type, which shows you, you know, Mary Sues don't really work in real life. But if you want to learn more about Mary Sues, villain Sues, blah 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 blah, go to TV tropes and just type in Mary Sue or villain Sue. But yeah, Eisen, like, I think it's mostly due to Kubo's inability to write a story, but. So, my favorite group of anime villains now. I had a tough time with this one. Oops, questions to people. I had a tough time with this one, but because it's hard to pinpoint a group. I really like the Akatsuki. They were half the reason I still watch Naruto. Arrancars were a disappointment, sadly enough. And I would have loved to pick Hao from Shaman King, or Zeke if you watch the anime. But I'm only halfway through Shaman King, and there's so, how do I put this? I'm only halfway through Shaman King, and like I feel like I'm just scratched the surface of it. I'm on volume 14, and I don't think the shit's really hit the fan yet. So I tried thinking of villains who just portray a sense of hopelessness completely and set up the premise excellently. And for a second, I considered the Titans from Attack on Titan, because they do an amazing job of that. I mean, you shoot these motherfuckers, and then they just get back up. They blow off their head, you can blow their bodies to bits, and don't even kill them. It's like, I mean, they're crazy, but there's one group that does it better. They just do it better, man. The God Hand. The God Hand are just... They're like just evil Satan. Like, literally evil Satan. No, they're like Satan himself if Satan actually did shit. Because, I mean, the God Hand are just the most overpowered. I mean, they're literally gods, and the whole thing of the series is like, you expect Guts to be able to beat them. It's like they make the perfect anti-villain. So there's pure, unadulterated evil, and I mean unadulterated in every little sense. Plague, giant lust orgy pits, Griffith, and I expect, like, I want origin stories for the God Hand. I don't know if he's going to do that in the main manga, or which I have yet to finish reading, or if he's going to do that in a later thing. But question 5. Favorite anime villain. I was like, female villains. I was like, oh god damn it, you're putting me under the wire here. But there were not a lot of choices, honestly. I considered Anshinin from Madoka Box, but then again, I'd have 2 Madoka Box characters. I didn't too much want to do that. Besides, you can't really count her as a villain anyway, since if you read Madoka Box and understand it, you know, it's difficult to pinpoint her. So then I considered Medusa, and she was a very good villain. I also considered her sitter, Arachne. I also considered Balalaika, and if you're wondering what I'm saying, like, but Balalaika is one of the main characters. Is like the Aesop of Black Lagoon is everybody's a villain. So after a while, if I decided that if I can pick her, I can pick her. Yeah. If you haven't seen the Black Lagoon OVA yet, well, don't pick up the manga and read that. because the anime just cuts out too much, but Roberta from Roberta's Blood Trail is just... she's the second type of villain I mentioned earlier, and she is the mental breakdown villain, and by God, she is just... oh my God, hold on. Where is it? In case you haven't looked, up here she's catching the sword in her mouth, and down here she's breaking it with her teeth. She also broke a chainsaw with 2 pistols, not even shooting the pistols, just jamming. I'm like, God damn it. And so she was one of the most well done version 2 villains. I consider the breakdown villain. And my favorite anime henchman. This was hard because there's not a lot of good how do you remember anime henchmen? That's the one thing. But had to pick Mifune. I mean, how do you not love Mifune? He's just like all the way up to his spoiler. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but all the way up to the final battle with Black Star. No, now that I think about that, it kind of spoils it by itself, doesn't it? Oh my God! But Mifune, more because of his awesomeness than anything else, really. And it's like, oh, henchmen. Why henchmen? Why henchmen? And my personal question, option number 7, your own question. My question is going to be, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the build-up villain who starts off as, may start off like as evil generic blob, or just like a blob of nothingness, and then builds up to being human and not so villainous? Or do you prefer the breakdown villain who, starts out as a normal loving person, or as a hero, and just... And tell me why you prefer which one, and which one do you think is better for telling a story? I personally, I prefer the bring-up villain. Because it just busts, because, well, I think it busts just slightly more tropes than the breakdown villain, even though the breakdown villains are awesome when they're done right. But so it's hard. It's a hard choice, but I have to go with the build-up villains. So that's it. I don't really know anybody to tag, because I'm sure everyone's going to be tagged sooner or later. And I'm not really subscribed to a lot of reviewers, actually. Yeah. But that's YouTube and me. The small guys are forgotten. And I just realized my shirt's inside out. It's a bomb, by the way. A bomb. So that's it for this video response. Thanks for the tag, Walking Dead, and feel free to tag me again, I guess. So, bye-bye. You gotta wonder. Is this tag thing really gonna help? Some of the smaller viewers? Because whatever. It's just a thought. Just a thought. Goodbye. Goodbye.